special episode.
We sure are. Great to be back, please.
It is.
Seems like we're back.
Hair's gone a bit grey.
Yeah, shut the fuck.
And who's on the end there?
Who we got here? He's back.
Second appearance.
Oh, Bobcat.
Yeah, didn't get to hear him last time after the production values.
Yeah.
Hopefully they've improved.
Upgraded for sure.
Tunnel Vision 6.
So, what are we discussing today?
Today's all about the AFL. We love the AFL this time, don't we?
Oh, love it. I haven't been able to say much of it, but definitely enjoy it.
That's alright. This season of podcast
So,
time.
Yeah,
Where your team will finish.
according to us.
Yeah, and we're right. So,
So we're gonna get straight into it.
let's just say how we're doing it.
We're gonna work from the bottom up.
Bottom up. On current ladder position, we're going to go bottom up.
Yep. We're gonna say most improved, what they're doing right, what we think they're doing wrong. We'll give them overall grade from A+ being the best to F being the worst.
Correct.
And then at the end, we'll say where we predict they'll finish, and then we'll give an overall of our predicted ladder at the end.
It's pretty thorough, isn't it?
So it's a real deal.
Alright. Get ready. Get
So-
ready, fellas.
Who's 88?
It's Gold Coast.
80th, and I've got the Gold Coast Suns. I've given them an F. Sorry, Gold Coast, you've been a complete failure this year. Best player, that was a very easy choice this one. Gary Ablett, probably in Brownlow contention, I'd say.
Can he win it though?
Definitely.
Bottom
I
10.
think, I don't buy into this year have to win games argument. I think he's
You definitely do, and he won't
got
win it.
plenty of best ons. Don't worry about that. Most improved player, I couldn't even find the most improved for Gold Coast. It's been so disappointing. Their verdict, the senior players let them down, I feel.
They
you
recruited
know,
poorly from the
the
start.
Riscatellis, the Brennans, these are
Hard
good players.
brow.
Should be good players. The list goes on, and you know, it's just becoming a real failure there. And Guyman got the contract extension, not looking good at the moment. I've got them moving up one place
17.
before the end of the season, finishing in 17th. I think it might beat the Giants and have one win for the season, which is just an epic failure of a season. But,
Alright, next one.
Next one is GWS, which I've got. I've given them a C. I thought that, you know, as much as it is their first season, they should probably get an F like Gold Coast. They have recruited pretty well. They've shown a lot of promise, unlike Gold Coast. Best player this season, I reckon, is Jeremy Cameron. You know, leading the goal kicking for them. Been a superstar with Jonathan Patton.
Wait till those two
Yeah.
come of age. Look
Yeah.
out, the rest of the competition.
Next Jonathan Brown.
That'd be dynamic up forward.
The most improved I've given Cornelio, just because he's a gun. He's going to be a great
He was
midfielder.
taking pick 2, wasn't he, I think?
Yeah, pick two. But you know, you can't really compare them to last year. They weren't playing, so
No, I don't know.
Cornelio put, you know, as most improved. Verdict. They showed a lot more promise in Gold Coast. Good list.
Been pretty
And-
consistent, the GWS.
Yeah, I mean they haven't really most of the time they've gone away in the last quarter because they're pretty young bodies, so they just haven't had the fitness to keep it up with the good teams. But you know,
Look, they might not win as many games as Gold Coast, but I think it goes down as a more impressive debut year.
And that's
Yeah,
why
I
they're
understand.
getting a C compared
Yeah.
to an F.
I really am impressed with how
Oh.
GWS have gone.
And where are they going to finish?
I predicted them to finish 18.
But
But
a bigger out.
yeah, look, they'll be a good team for the future. They're more likely to win Premiership than Gold Coast in a few years' time.
I totally agree. I think without Gary Ablett, Gold Coast give an F minus here.
All right, next
Um,
is Melbourne.
Yeah, got Melbourne currently sitting 16th. And I'm giving them a big fat E.
I think that's appropriate.
And look, they've had to start from hell. And
Nothing's going right for them, let's be honest.
but it only gets worse with Mitch Clark going out, and that hurts. But I'm also saying he's the most improved player. He's done what I didn't think he could do what he's been doing, but he's there shining light up forward.
You shining lights. One forward in the whole team.
Another good find was rookie James Magna.
Absolutely,
He's been very, very persistent for them. But I think they're starting from the rebuilding era of Bailey. Yep, you're back to 07 in Dean Bailey.
It's supposed to be Melbourne and Richmond.
And look, you shouldn't have let go of James McDonald and those more experienced players, and it's going to come back to haunt you, and you're going to finish 16th for the year.
Just after the wrong start with Liam Jordan, not Liam
Just on that,
Liam Jarrah.
Just on that Mitch Clark thing, you could argue that they might have a few more targets going forward. Might play better.
That's a good thing.
Could be a good thing, as they always say. Could be a
Just
good thing.
need someone to support him.
So I don't know about that. I don't know, it's been a really disappointing season. But nothing's going right, really. Liam Jarrah.
I don't see.
Jim Steins.
They haven't got a
The
team. to really
CEO
challenge.
going crazy on Twitter.
Yeah.
Mitch Clark now. You don't want any marketing on it right now.
Look, let's move on.
Let's move on.
Melbourne's moving on from round 2. They've moved on.
We got next.
15th.
Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide. Who's got Port Adelaide?
I've got Port Adelaide.
There we go.
And
What are you giving them?
look, Corns, he's back in form, back in premiership form. Look, it sucks about Hamish Hartlett out with an injury. Giving him a C, just because, we didn't really think they could do anything. Huge injuries, massive outs. Hamish Hartlett, Travis Boak's another one. And with 4 wins at the moment, it's going to be tough to see him getting many more. As long as they remain consistent, I think, that's a good thing. And Jay Schultz is just unreal up forward. He's been a great pick-up from Richmond, and I think they'll finish 14th. They'll go at one spot.
I think they're really well, to be honest. I thought they'd be gone
Yeah.
this season. I thought Matt Price might have lost his job just about by this point in the season, especially after 6 in a row after round 1. But they've hit back well.
I think
over Carlton was a
I
good
think
one.
they'll be top half of the bottom 8,
Yeah.
or bottom 10 actually,
Yeah.
next year
I
considered.
reckon
But they've got to keep Travis Boak from going to Geelong.
that would be a massive loss. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about Port Adelaide much.
Yeah.
So he's currently 14th.
Let's move on to Western Bulldogs, which I have. I've given them a D+. They've been really disappointing this year. I mean, they are the easy beats in this competition. It's a confidence boosting win pretty much. Their best player's been Boyd. He's been racking up the disposals, been a star in midfield. Their most improved Dowhouse, just, a young gun, shining light for the future for them.
I think good for him.
It's been pretty awesome for them.
But yeah, they've got a couple of spuds up forward in Grant and bloody William
Yeah,
Jones.
definitely.
No confidence.
Yeah, I mean they've got a long way to go. I mean they'll have to rebuild now. I mean I can't see them. They've got some good fit players, but
I'm not sure who was saying this, but how did the Barry Hill thing set them back 3 years?
Well, it did, because they made prelims. They made...
Was that under him? Yeah, well, it wasn't just at the end. But did that set them back? Because now, instead of over those 3 years giving youngsters a chance to develop up forward, they just went with an old guy who they knew was only going to be there for 3 years. I mean,
Well, that could be the same
he
case.
didn't win the premiership.
Back
Yeah, I guess you could say that as well.
So-
I mean, it's youth versus experience. Yeah,
But
I think they kind of did it because they kind of knew they had one last chance to win a
But you've
premiership in that window.
You've got players like
Yeah.
Gian Syracuse on his way out. Brian Lake's constantly injured.
Yeah, he's
So,
insane.
It's hard to judge, really.
I think Bulldogs fans didn't expect much from this season.
You couldn't.
But how much more wins have we got them having for the rest of the season?
We've predicted that they
15.
don't win
That would another game.
another game for the year. That's 11
No.
losses for the rest of the season.
That's 10. 10 more
10?
losses.
Well, they could beat Richmond. We don't know.
Not sure if that'll happen.
Lucky, but
Not sure if they'll happen. They'll win a game somewhere, but I can't find one for them at the moment.
Yeah. Next is Brisbane Lions.
Brisbane Lions. Don't mind a bit of Brisbane Lions. Been pretty excited this season. At the start of the season, I was no chance for the Brisbane Lions. I thought Michael Voss would be just about sacked, just like Matthew Primus.
Yeah.
And I thought they'd be playing uncompetitive footy. I thought they maybe 2 wins to this point. Bottom 4. They're not that far above the bottom 4, but they've certainly...
They're
improved
doing
their
something.
Exactly. I'm giving them a C. And I was watching on the weekend against the Bulldogs. I thought that was super impressive. They've got some great youngsters there. Tommy Rockcliffe, best player.
Oh, he's going to be
He's
amazing.
Daniel Rich, once he learns to live with the tag, will really be great.
Yeah, Zorko, that little youngster, I think that's his name. He looks like a ripper fine. Michael Voss has done alright there, and credit where it's due to the Brisbane Lions, I think.
I still think it's a bit like Ash McGrath kicked 5 on the weekend, and
Big source up for
But they had a big win. They've smashed the Bulldogs, who we didn't rate obviously. But
at Etihad. So
and Jonathan Brown has kicked 1 goal. He's not kicked 1 goal. That's great for Lions, I think.
yeah,
Um,
that would be ruining the loss of Mitch Clark. I
yeah, that
suppose.
doesn't look good now, does it? Exactly. It's okay.
Yeah.
Got to be 13th, I reckon.
They'll take
Climbing
that. I
climbing
reckon.
1 spot. I think that's a good season.
They'll
That's
take
actually
that.
a good season for the Lions. Because as people like me at the start of the season thought they would be an absolute spectacular failure. And they haven't been that, so good on you, Rossi. You live for another day.
So
Alright.
up to 12th,
Freo.
Current position for a minute.
Freo.
I guess I reckon.
C plus.
That's how the plus there.
Yeah.
Just get it.
Poor start, but somewhat expected, I reckon, to an extent. Yeah, it was always going to take time to adjust to Rossi's
Yeah, that's a
plan.
good point. That's a fair point.
They've gone from a really good, attractive footy team to watch to ultra defensive,
Yeah.
and they've done it pretty well.
I hate it.
So like they've adjusted to ultra defensive pretty well. You've got to love Pab just doing his thing. Valentine, he's like knocking some heads around up there.
Hate him.
The loss of Fife, I think, is another one that hurts. Hills, but a huge player that's really up and about, most improved this year, Michael Barlow.
Yeah.
Back from a horrific broken leg.
Absolutely.
Look,
Pretty well skewed Fremantle. They've got this game plan. Ross Lane is a game plan.
it worked with St Kilda.
I mean, you can't argue it effectively because it
I reckon
does
you can.
work.
I reckon
but,
you can because it's like with St Kilda, they had the list for a defensive game plan, kind of.
Yeah, it's a fair point actually.
Freo have so
They-
many
they
quick
was-
players, you'd want them to be way more attacking.
But
than
he
they
That's
was
what I
are.
thought
always
last
after a
year,
quick
though.
player at St Kilda.
Yeah.
So
I thought they were a good team last year, Fremantle.
But-
just injuries took the
Yeah.
toll.
They're
Mark
bad.
Hyde was a bit unlucky.
they would have hurt losing Destin on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I actually didn't play that defensively on the weekend.
Richmond.
Richmond Fremantle, they got the points, I guess, but we'll get the premierships.
Anyway,
I don't
I've
think
got
so.
them finishing 11th, which is not too bad, and we've got them outside on percentage.
Yeah, we've got a pretty tight line through the middle there, so
It's not bad though, they'll take that, but percentage is always going to be a factor with Ross Line.
yeah, you would think so.
It comes with a percentage.
They don't have a good percentage either, so that's not going to be good for them. I don't think they'll make finals. No chance of mine. I'm going to Richmond next.
No, one's North
Oh,
Melbourne.
North
now.
Melbourne, sorry.
North Melbourne.
I'm getting
Yeah.
excited.
Jumping the gun.
I'm getting excited.
So yeah, I've given them a C so far this season. After Lockie and Fergus convinced me otherwise.
I think
You want to give a B plus?
I think
I'm a D plus, yeah.
I think you're generous with the C still.
You know,
They haven't got any injuries.
best player, Andrew Swallow. I mean, he is their best player, so he was last year.
Drew Petrie's not doing much.
Yeah, most improved is Ryan Bastanak. He's been great for the midfield. Yeah, they've been pretty consistent this year, you'd say. They've beaten, some pretty good teams.
They've been Geelong and Adelaide.
Yeah, it's a pretty good team.
That's
isn't it?
it's the losses.
I think
It's the losses that, yeah.
Frida will tell you that the media jumps on
North.
wins like that for North, when really, it's not massive. It's not
That
huge.
thumping against Hawthorn.
Yeah, that was horrible. They're
Yeah.
they're a long way from
They
North of mine.
dived over the line against the Gold Coast.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
I mean,
true.
I think what do we got? Got them finishing.
We've got them finishing
12th.
12th, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. think they're a good team.
Outside the 8 on 2 games.
Yeah, see before, like everyone's in love with them. This looks a bit Adelaide, but last week, remember, it's just one game. Let's calm down. I think they're a long way off.
They're
Yeah,
not going to make it. I don't think they'll make it.
and they're expected to make it. So that's a disappointing season.
Yep.
Definitely
All right.
season.
Now we're on through
Now
the
cover
Lockies.
this. Alright, Richmond Tigers. Giving them a B if you can find that part of B. A B for mine. Best player, Trent Cotchin. You're an absolute superstar. Love you, Trent. Slash Ivan Maric.
Yes. Yes.
Been brilliant. He's
It's
way
about
overneeded.
time you had a genuine.
Oh, we missed out. Like Andrew Brown and Angus Graham didn't quite cut the mustard last year.
Or
But,
Trent Noble about 5 minutes ago.
with Marriage just showing how important ruckmen still are in this day and age. Alex Rance, the most improved, I think. I was really worried about him
Keen
last
defender.
year. Really worried about him last year. But he's come along beautifully. He gets the hardest job every week, and he's done a really good job. Richmond's defence has tightened up big time this year. It was supposed to be
Leaky.
yeah, that was supposed to have a big weak point. It's still not a massive strength, but it's coming along. We only conceded an average of about 85 points a game, I think. Yeah, the stats now.
Not as good as Freya's.
They were
40.
flying after 10 rounds. Then those last 2 weeks seemed really dodgy against Fremantle and then just the other line against GWS. You feel like a mid-season slip-up could be imminent.
Big game this weekend.
It's a massive game this weekend.
Get you back on track.
We've got a couple of crucial games in the run-in against Essendon, Carlton, Fremantle. They're going to be crucial to deciding whether or not we can make finals. We can make finals. It's a very easy run-in overall, but Richmond,
Slip ups do happen.
you never get too excited. So I've got them coming 10th at the end of the season. I think just missing out on percentage.
I'm gonna go claw.
I think. They've had a good season, I think, for mine. I think they've done well. I think they've proved they can beat some good teams. They've beaten Sydney, Hawthorn, St Kilda. I think they're up and about, but not this year.
No. 9.
10. No.
Alright, so now we're on to Carlton, which you have again, Lockie.
Carlton, well, I'll go for my favourite team, my most hated team, Carlton. C+. I've given them worse than Richmond. I think that just comes down to the expectation for mine. Everyone thought they were going to finish, round 3. 10 weeks ago. What did you give us 10 weeks to make in football?
Definitely.
We've got 10 rounds to play, so I was not too excited.
Injuries
yet.
as well though.
Injuries has hurt a lot. They've been so disappointing though. They've been so disappointing. They were $3 favourites after round 3. Now, Mark Murphy going down really hurt. The backline's been decimated.
Jared
I feel a little
can't
bit
get right.
I feel a bit sorry for them, but still, some of their core players have been disappointing.
Yeah.
I'll give him best player case,
Oh,
Cade Simpson.
On Carlton, I don't quite reckon Juddy's right. There's something
He's
not
not the same Juddy as he is.
something's well, just in the last month he's carrying something. I think. I wouldn't be.
Call the baby Fergus.
Had the bye this week, so that.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if he missed another game after the bye at some
reckon?
stage.
Against Hawthorn this week?
Don't know.
Don't know. We'll see. I've got them finishing 9th at the end of the season. Sorry, Carlton fans. I think they were really disappointed.
It's going to come down to that last game against St
Yeah, they play Saints in round 22, and that could be an early elimination final. Anyway, best player, Cade Simpson. Most improved, Mitch Robinson. I hate Mitch Robinson. Anyway, I'll give it to him. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Next
On to
up.
St Kilda, Fergus.
Yep. My team.
Let's watch them.
Giving them a B. I don't think anyone predicted us to be up and about at the moment.
Go on.
Look, it's great to see Jack Stephen, Ahmed Saad, Terry Malia, the injection of some fast youth players. We didn't do it under Rossi, we're finally doing it and it's working. We're great to watch, we're really attacking, but I'm worried we might be too attacking now. We're becoming very leaky after being very, very defensive.
Well, here's a question for you. Would you play... You obviously rather winning, but on the other result, would you rather, beat... I don't know, surround team by a point in a really ugly, scrappy game, or play in that Richmond game Friday night and lose by 12 points, 9 points, whatever it was.
Oh, you take the win every day
I
though.
know you take the win, but the odd win.
I just think,
If
give
you
it some
have-
time. If he can get us up and about into finals, top 4 contention, no worries. But otherwise, you've got to go with Rossi just because we just fell short on 2 occasions.
Yeah, I guess.
You don't care long as you're getting the job done.
Better.
Jack Stephen, probably best player, most improved player at the moment.
Yeah, I think they're
so
alright. I don't think they'll do much. They might just scrape in. There's a top 7 at the moment, I think, and there's going to be the rest of
Yeah.
this competition fighting for 8th. And
We're
I reckon
currently
might
8th
win.
and we can drop out.
I reckon St Kilda might win that battle for 8th spot between Saints, Richmond,
Fingers
Carlton,
crossed.
and Fremantle. But let's be honest, they just make out the numbers like Essendon last year.
I don't think so.
They are, I think. You'll find out lose first round of the finals, and we'll have 17 final series, which is what we need.
I think you're wrong.
It's just mediocre. 8th. You're wrong, mate. No doubt.
7th, Geelong.
Geelong. They're in the top 7. These are the big guns.
Alright, so I've given him a B this season. Probably could have given him a C+, but
Harsh.
best player, Joel Selwood.
Who?
Joel Selwood, please. Controversial player, according to Fergus, but he's just
Great player.
great player as well.
Joel Duck Selwood.
Anyway, I think most of the midfielders in the competition do that now, Fergus. So, most improved, hard to split it. So I've gone with Motlop and Hawkins. Just Hawkins, he's leading the goal kicking for Geelong this year, which he hasn't done before, and Motlop's been great on the half forward flank. He's just been,
He
a
loves it.
replacement for Stokes and Aaron Christensen while they're out, and he's been going well.
And he loves a Friday night goal.
He does love a Friday night goal, Fergus. They're getting better compared to.
It's a date.
My verdict for them is that they're getting better compared to the start of the season, but the senior players really need to step up. I mean, young ones are playing pretty well. It's just the senior players that need to improve and take over from where all the old guys have retired. What they were doing last year and the year before that. So yeah, Bartel, Chapman. I mean, Bartel's playing well, but lots of the senior like Corey, both Corey, Scarlett need to really show some leadership, help Joel Selwood out. So,
We're going to finishing 7th. Can they do any damage in the finals? Can they be smokies? Oh, really?
They have to be playing pretty well towards the end of the season to be any danger, but
You
we'll wait and
just
see.
had to draw them regardless, I reckon.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to play them in finals, no way, no matter where you are. But 7th, it's harder than premiership from 7th. I can't see
But
that in the
This
titles.
is the season to do it, I reckon.
Probably, it's very
Yes.
open. It's still difficult, a double chance. I mean, doing 4 games against quality opposition on the bounce.
But, well, we're on to Hawthorn now. I've gone from my favourite to my least favourite, just like Lockie. I've given him a B+ for this season. The B+ for this week. Best player is Buddy Franklin. I think everyone can agree on that. He's been a superstar this season, like he is most seasons.
So exciting to watch.
Very exciting to watch.
Love Buddy.
Let's just hope he doesn't get injured or reported, because without Buddy Hawthorn would struggle up forward a bit.
He's
I
got a
reckon.
tattoo, buddy. On
A tattoo? One tattoo? That's it?
just on his shoulder blade there that says "I skin cats for a living," and he's done it very well. I
He
think.
kicks 30 goals in a rank against skin as many cats as he will, I reckon.
Well,
That's brilliant. 13!
Most improved, we give it to Matt Suckling. He's been pretty good this season. I pretty much just picked him because he had lots of disposals though. Couldn't really find another player that's been pretty awesome. It's a newbie. Verdict, they've shown they can beat the best, but sometimes they just haven't been as consistent as other seasons.
It's just inconsistency for mine. They have had some great games,
Yeah.
but have they really been against top opposition? I mean, at the start of the season they beat Collingwood, which
Yeah.
was good. But since then, they lost to... I went to the Richmond game where they got 4-1.
that was
a
great.
shocker.
Great game.
Sydney...
They didn't look on
Sydney
though
and
at all
Tassie?
against Richmond. Sydney, Tassie, I can't believe that one.
They've thrown in some shockers. Then they go and beat, North by 115 points. But that's not a good team. Like, they beat North, Melbourne, Brisbane, not Melbourne, Brisbane, someone else. Everyone says they're in form. But they haven't really beaten anyone from mine.
Well, I reckon Friday night against Carlton.
That's a big test. I think they'll beat Carlton.
I think, but it's just how convincing will
They've
it
got
be?
some 50-50 games in the way in, and that will decide whether they make top 4 or not. We've got them finishing in 4th spot, just on percentage. So
Yeah.
that's crucial to win the premiership for mine. They're a chance, because...
Between 7th and 4th we've got, it's only on percentage.
Yeah, exactly. And they can put it all together. In September, they're the team that can just go crazy for 4 weeks and just beat everyone before them.
Yeah,
But
and
they've
bring
got to
back
finish
Stewie
top,
Duke.
got to finish top 4 for mine to do that. But they're right up there, I think. Premiership favourites? Not sure about that. Not sure about that. I wouldn't be paying my hard-earned money on that. But anyway,
No, I wouldn't either.
we'll move on.
Next, Adelaide.
Adelaide. This is an interesting call.
A plus.
Might
No,
we put it in front of the camera first?
there is no doubt in this A plus.
A plus. I'm not sure about this.
Look, I don't think anyone even expected them maybe to make the 8.
A plus 2 is beat North Melbourne.
True. So Geelong's not an A plus team either.
So-
I just think Paddy Dangerfield, Scotty Thompson, Taylor Walker, and Dan Burlow are just doing their jobs and doing them really well. Rory Sloane's another one. Their key players are performing well. They're more attacking and they're well structured, well drilled. Probably following on from Neil Craig, but just the attacking is so good, and they're young too. They're a very young team.
They're very good. I don't doubt that. We've got them finishing second on our ladder,
They
but
got a good run,
they have the easiest
Yeah,
draw
you know, the easiest
that has ever been given out in the
but,
history of
but,
AFL.
but you've got to make the most of that easy draw.
They are, but you don't play the teams in the finals. So
Yeah,
They haven't,
Oh,
they haven't
give
slipped
Geelong-
up
they
10
did
years.
show up
they
Geelong
have snapped.
a few months back.
They're a good team. They are a good team, but I'm not sure they are the best team in the
Look,
competition.
this could well and truly
I
change by the end of the year.
cannot see them beating Collingwood in a final series.
But also, in our predictor, we had them in the granny, didn't we?
We've got them finishing, just based on home ground advantage. We've got them finishing second, but I'm not sure about Adelaide. Yet to be convinced. I probably won't be convinced until September. But they're doing all the right things, so you can't really question it. But we'll see. We'll see.
We
with that one.
will see.
That takes
Watch
us,
this space.
that takes us to 4th at the
West
moment.
Coast.
West
Oh,
Coast
Eagles.
Eagles, my team. Hey, this is what I give them West Coast. They've been great this season, haven't they? How were they wooden spooners 2 years ago? Jeez, unbelievable.
Prelim final last year.
Best player, Luke Shuey.
Luke Shuey.
Luke Shuey and Pat Prentice, they've just been setting the competition
Cox
alight.
is up there.
Cox, Kanga's Nick Nat. Jeez, he's going to be exciting.
Oh, already is.
Sure, you want to take Jack Watts over Nick Nat in the draft now? That looks bad for Melbourne. Oh well, it's happened. Can't really blame recruiting stuff with Richmond supporter. Anyway, they've done well considering their injuries. Like, they have lost who? I looked at
LaCroix, Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy, Embley.
Daniel Kerr's another one playing really good footy.
He's playing great.
And he's more likely to get injured at some point or another.
That
so.
was
Jack Darling's another one that's been playing very well.
yeah, absolutely. They've really found a lot of players. Are they good enough to win at the MCG, which is the interim finals?
Well, they did well against Collingwood.
Yeah, that was the weekend I proved for me. They have no fear of the MCG anymore. They are fine. They are a massive threat. probably need to get to the top two though.
Would you say they are the most threatening interstate team?
Yeah, I put them ahead of Adelaide.
Sydney?
No, I don't think Sydney.
You reckon Sydney's more threatening than West Coast?
No, I think West Coast is more threatening than Sydney.
They're the most threatening.
Yeah, I think so.
I think just because of home ground advantage. If you're
Home
playing-
ground.
You'd rather play Sydney at Sydney than West Coast at West Coast.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
yeah.
It's a fortress.
And I think West Coast can perform better at the G than Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney hate the G, they're awful, we'll get that later. But West Coast, I think they're a real chance to the flag, massive chance. They showed in the weekend. Considering all the injuries they've had, they've done really well, and yeah, I think A is appropriate for their season.
And
Good on them.
that goes to third at the moment, which is Essendon.
Yes, will they be third into the season? I don't think so.
No, we're going to finish in 6th at the end of the season, but
6.
midway, I'm giving them an A.
Wow. What do you think of that, Ellen?
Controversial, but I think the lapse has just taken lapse in recent times against Melbourne has really taken away from it.
Probably a plus. B plus, I reckon. I don't think an A. An
Look,
A.
I think just the loss to Melbourne and sort of that Sydney game's really overshadowed.
You think they are?
But it just
as
proves
good
that they're
as
not
West
going to be
Coast,
as
as Collingwood.
I think midway they've been just as good.
Nah,
Look, good win against Freo on the weekend.
that was a great win.
They need to win that first game they've won in June in 3 years.
That was huge. Absolutely.
Watson, great form.
Rambo form.
Michael Hurley up forward, just as damaging as any other forward.
Absolutely.
And Fletcher's doing his thing down back.
He's killing it. That would be just so angry about those 2 games they lost.
And it could cost them, and that potentially why they will. I think they definitely will finish outside the top 4.
They were on track for top 4 before that. Now it's
Wide open.
really wide open.
But-
Melbourne had to lose to Melbourne. Sydney made a kick straight. I mean, they're just opportunities that I look back on and say, oh dear.
But
That's one that got
But
away.
that said, I think Essendon on their day can really cause an upset on their day.
I can't see
Their
them doing
best
damage in September.
Their best and worst is so far apart.
I just can't see them competing with the likes of Collingwood in the September pressure cooker. That is finals.
So that takes us to second at the moment, the Swannies.
The Swans. I got Swans. I've given them a B plus. They have been
Deserving. Oh, deserving B plus, let's say.
yeah. You could argue it for an A.
Could argue that.
They do it every year. Most improved on Lewis Jetta. Isn't he just exciting to watch at the moment? He is just.
He's
chopping
really
up that-
turned it
Put him in my dream team first year. He was
Ah.
in. He was terrible, but this year I haven't put him in. He's doing great.
He's brilliant. Best player going with Josh Kennedy. I haven't watched a lot of Sydney games, so I'm not really sure how good he's doing.
He's
But
shopping at
apparently
Super
he's
Coach.
Got a
absolutely
phone call
killing
from
it.
Benny Evans,
Oh yeah, at 1 a.m.
2:30, and he goes, "Just got home from the SCG, Kiddies versus the Swannies. Joshy Kennedy does his thing."
Can you do his thing?
I said, "Really, Aaron's thing?" He goes, "Yeah, bro." So
okay.
apparently they're that good.
There you go, Canes. I'm gonna keep going with this.
Josh Kennedy could be a smoky for the Brownlow. He's playing that well.
Brownlow.
He's been Sydney's best player easily.
Well, I bet you heard it here first.
Maybe
Smokey.
not. Anyway, they keep Sydney. They keep doing the same thing every single year. When will they slide? Well, it's just never going to happen, is it? And I think a big part of that is the culture of that club. It is one of the strongest cultures.
Yeah.
They don't know how to lose. Bad players go to Sydney and become good players.
Benny McLean, Josh
Honestly,
Kennedy, Andreas
exactly.
Everett now.
Just look at the players
Oh.
that they have just pumped out.
Henry Playfair he wasn't a good player.
But in general, they turn average players into great players. Look, I reckon you'd be stupid if you said they weren't a flag threat. They are
Yeah.
absolute flag threat for mine. It's going to take a lot. It'd be a big effort. We've got them finishing 5th, just missing on the top 4 on percentage. But if they sneak into the top 4, then look out. I reckon they're in for a real tilt this year.
Yeah.
And
If they can get over their fears at the MCG.
yeah, that's the problem. That's the big problem. They can't win at the MCG. I watched them play Richmond at the MCG and they were just
Grotty.
They don't know how to play it.
Yeah.
That's got to be overcame. But that goes with confidence. They might be able to do that. I really like them. I think they can sneak into the top 4. But we'll see. But it's just great to see them stay up. All this crap about you have to go down.
Come
You
back
have to hit the rock bottom before you go back up again. Well, no, you don't.
Geelong hasn't.
Sydney are proof for that.
In recent years.
Exactly.
Hawthorn, St Kilda
Yes.
even haven't.
You don't have to, and Sydney are great. Yeah. Exhibition for that.
So, Currently,
Yeah, top.
Collingwood on top.
Collingwood's on top, and I
Where,
think
will they stay there?
they will stay there, Fergus. They're getting an A.
Absolutely.
I haven't given them an A plus because they're not doing as well as they were last season.
You could argue for A plus.
Sorry?
You could argue for A plus.
Yeah, I'm giving them an A because they could be doing better than they are. I mean, they have lost 2 games, and
Consider the injuries and stuff.
not an excuse.
I think
Best
it's
players,
just adjusting to Bucks.
yeah, adjusting to Bucks. First 4 weeks weren't that great, so you could.
Nope.
Um,
Well, it can't be.
yeah, have come good. Dane Swan, best player, as usual. He just chops it.
Dance on.
Probably could have argued Pendlebury if he wasn't injured at the moment, if he was still playing.
Yeah.
Most improved Dane Beams. He's been chopping in the midfield from getting cut from the grand final team last
There's
year.
2 things. Hasn't re-signed Beams or Travis Cloak.
Yeah, well,
Salary cap room huge.
they are going to have a nightmare keeping all their players at the end of the
Yeah.
season. Let me just tell you that right now.
Definitely going to be hard.
Go on.
Yeah, pretty much it. They're the best team in the competition. They're going to be hard to beat.
But
Grand
I think-
final will involve them.
I think that's good. That's a good call. I think they'll be in the grand final.
Just 2.
Everyone else can play.
It's Collingwood versus someone in the grand
I think
final.
that's a great call, and you know the transition's gone smoothly. I have to say, from Muldass to Bucks, it's worked. I mean, how can you not? That team. Is
He inherited a great list.
Everyone's getting off them after 3 rounds. I was probably one of them who didn't think they were as good as last year, but they have flown under the radar because of that,
Just as
and it has worked beautifully. They're not going to fly under the radar anymore.
good.
They're a great team. They'll finish first and in the grand final for a 3rd straight year. And a 4th straight grand final.
Yeah, well,
Good on them.
I,
Do you agree, Tuggles?
gives it some
That's what we
feedback.
want to know. That's what we want to know.
Check it.
Peace out. I think we're done. Brilliant.
Cut.
Who keeps all this stuff in? Just
That
like
went-
perfect.
That's
Stop the clock.
that was a half an hour.